everyone, and welcome to Illinois Villa. We'll now begin Board of Education meeting for Monday, October 17th, 2016. We have a roll call, Mrs. Bruno.
Okay, Simmons.
Present.
Oda. Here. Hill. Here. Marks. Present. Ford. Here. Huckabee. Here. Paredes.
Here and quorum is present. First on our agenda, we have audience comments. Meeting members wishing to be heard by the board must sign in before commencement of the meeting. Further comments may be made by visitors at this time regarding items not on the agenda. Visitors wishing to comment on an item on the agenda will be recognized by the board president, myself, during consideration of that item. According to board policy number 230, the board president has the authorization to restrict comments to 5 minutes. For ethical and legal reasons, comments or communications regarding school personnel who work in the district will not be heard in this format. During this part of the meeting, audience to visitors will be limited to 15 minutes or less. We have 10 people who have signed up for audience comments. There are 7 people who have put the topic for district excellence. Is there one person who will be speaking for on that topic, or is this time to be divided amongst the people who have signed up?
If others would like to comment, they have signed it as well.
Okay.
But,
Okay. So Reginald Williams is the first one.
yeah.
Thank you. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Good evening, members of the board, Dr. Gusford, members of our beloved community. I'm Reginald Williams Jr., Baltimore resident, taxpayer, father of children both at Heather Hill and Parker Junior High. Today, I come to you as not solely an advocate for my 3rd and 6th graders, but as an advocate for all students within the district. A collective group of concerned parents and residents from Baltimore Hills, Heather Hill, Serena Hills, Western Avenue, and Parker Junior High joined to express our deep discontent and disappointment with the downward trend of academic performance across the school district 161. I would ask now that those parents and residents, if you would please stand as well. Speak for parents present today and resident parents present today, those who are willing but unable to attend this evening due to college night at HF, those who are at home right now helping children with homework, and the over 400 parents and residents who have signed letters to express a vote of no confidence in the superintendent of school district 161.
I'm going to have to stop you there for just a second, Mr. Williams, with all due respect, and I appreciate all of your work, your dedication, and certainly where your heart is in this, but at this time, it's our policy that we do not identify specific personnel.
I have not identified specific personnel. I call the title.
Okay.
Thank you.
I see.
Over the past 5 years, the superintendent has consistently demonstrated an ability to return our district to the academic success and reputation our community has enjoyed for decades. Furthermore, on topics of student performance, the superintendent is regularly mum and/or mute. As a community, we find this very disturbing. Repeatedly, residents and board members have asked the superintendent to share his plan to improve poor test scores and the status on Title I funds we were in jeopardy of losing. Yet again, neither of the items made the agenda, including this evening's agenda. We see this as an unacceptable pattern of communication that leaves the community and board unclear about key issues and concerns. So that it is vividly clear, we as a community of all District 161 schools have zero confidence in the current superintendent or his ability to lead our district to the academic performance we desire for our students, not the mediocre state or national norms. We collectively request, as a first step to returning our district to the academic standard of excellence for which this community has been known for over decades, that our elected board exercise your power to relieve the current superintendent of all duties and responsibilities of School District 161 immediately. We cannot wait until 2018 when the contract expires. We need this to occur now. In closing, I'll read the community letter for the record, and we will deliver all 400+ signed copies to the board president this week. Here's the letter.
Mr. Williams.
Thank you for your service and commitment to our district and our students. As a community, we would like to partner with you to further improve the district on an ongoing basis. It should be our goal to ensure that all students in School District 161 receive the very best in resources, leadership, and educational opportunities. Likewise, none of our students should be publicly or privately described as an quote-unquote unfavorable demographic by district staff. As elected board members, we trust that you too believe in the ability of all students to succeed and own your responsibility to act in their best interest. Specific concerns that must be addressed now include drastic decline of test scores, improve low-income student achievement gap, improve overall academic performance. Under the leadership of the current superintendent, student performance on standardized tests continue to fall, and meaningful academic improvement across the district has been unattainable. Currently, multiple grade levels in schools within the district fail to meet national averages for growth. Likewise, unacceptable achievement gaps exist for various subgroups, including low-income students. School District 161 was awarded $162,046 in Title I funds to support this very population of students, and failed to implement a plan or apply for an extension. As a result of local funds will be lost. Under State Law 105 ILCS 5-10, 23.8 and Section 3 of the superintendent's performance-based contract with School District 161 is linked to student performance and the academic improvement of our schools. These are only a few examples of how the superintendent has failed to perform. We collectively, as community members across the district, have no confidence in the superintendent's ability to lead our schools. He has failed to improve test scores, failed to serve low-income students, failed to introduce a curriculum that adequately reduces the high achievement gap for subgroups, and failed to serve high learners who positively impact test scores. We further request that School District 161 board members determine the above failures to act as being detrimental to our school district and immediately consider a discharge for cause per Section 22D of the superintendent contract. The above infractions are unacceptable, and we look forward to our elected board members acting immediately. The aforementioned infractions are clear violations of the superintendent's contract and indeed detrimental to the best interest of School District 161. You cannot wait. Our district cannot wait. Our children cannot wait. As taxpayers, we have decided not to wait. We look forward to you taking action on our request no later than November 1, 2016, during the meeting of the whole. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Williams.
Thank you.
Okay, at this time, Kelly Bentley also has to speak about District of Excellence, and 6 others. If I am not mistaken, would you like to speak?
Hi, I'm Kelly Bentley. I'm a parent of a kindergarten in Featherfield. I will be a parent of another kindergarten next year in Featherfield. I'm a parent of a junior at HF, and I'm a parent of a senior at HF. So I've spent some years in the district. I just want to reiterate a couple of the points that were just made, not to take away from the eloquently stated things that Ms. Griffin had to say, but essentially just want to again support the point of view that we need to change the district. Our children are at risk. I believe as active parents in the community, we'd like to see changes happen and swiftly. As you guys know, the students are already under an incredible amount of stress with just trying to attain the Common Core standards and the likes. And I just believe as a parent of children in this district, not only in SC 161 as well as 33, that we need to act and act swiftly. I think the leadership here on the board would be grateful to have parents like us who are coming to support one another, to assume responsibility for making sure that change happens with our own communities. So I just want to thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Ms. Bentley. Next on the agenda, we have Dominique Bristol. Excuse me, did I get the last name right?
Yeah, I'm conceding my time.
Okay. And next we have Lisa Kaufman.
I'm also conceding my time.
Next, we have Bruce, I'm sorry, looks like Dan's. Grab the Dawes.
Probably Davis.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Davis. Mr. Nelson?
How you doing?
LaShawn Latrice?
I'm conceding my time.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next we have Dr. Carolyn Griggs.
I'm not conceding my time. I want to talk about something very specific that seems to impact me on a daily basis, and I am frustrated enough to bring it to you. Thank you to the previous speakers, I agree with what was said, but this is specific to Odyssey. Last night, my child had to distinguish between the word raise and raise, R-A-Y-S and R-A-I-S-E. I have a second, fourth, sixth, and eighth grader, and I'll leave it to you to try to guess which one was doing this assignment. It might terrify you to find out who it is. It was an exercise in homophones, and he's required to do it, and it's part of his homework grade, so this is not a choice. Even though he knows the definition of both words and got the related the first question correct when prompted, he's still forced to listen through this lesson. Odyssey doesn't advance itself based on the skills of the student. So the two words defined, raise, meaning sunlight, and raise, the act of lifting something up. And like I said, it's homophone definitions. And the prompt asks you, think of a homophone for the word shown here, raise. The choices are to lift up, which obviously is the correct answer, to share, or to ring. And then after he gets that correct, it repeats, it explains it, and then the next question is, what's the homophone for raise, R-A-I-S-E? And then the choices are sunlight, which is the correct answer, lifting, and ring. Then an example is provided. Even after he's answered the question correctly, it's reviewed the topic, it's reviewed the answers. This is what the example is. While the vampire is sleeping in his coffin, we have to take it. Okay, everyone knows that vampires take the rays of the sun. Hurry, let's raise it up off the ground. Ready? Man, this coffin is really heavy. Now the vampire speaks. I'm a little self-conscious. I put on a few pounds recently. You could be a little more sensitive. This scares the two characters trying to pick him up and they run off. This was for my 8th grade. He's advanced ELA. He's in the 98th percentile on his math scores. Yet this is what he has to do for 15 minutes. He's tried to hack the system so that he can mute it so he doesn't have to listen to these ridiculous cartoon characters talking. 8th grade. I asked my 2nd grader, by the way, if he knew what the difference was, if he knew what the definition of raise was. And his comment to me was, which one, Mom? Raise is a homophone. So I find this to be ridiculous. This is a kid going to be a freshman at HF, and this is what he's working on. I looked for the research documenting the success of Odyssey, or at least empirical research on the program. Didn't find it. Their own website includes conclusions they have come to about their own product. They claim they use age-appropriate humor. My kids don't think so. Another claim on their website says, response to intervention seeks to prevent academic failure through early intervention, frequent progress measurement, and increasingly intensive research-based instructional interventions for children who continue to have difficulty. Compass Learning promotes a response to intervention approach by providing various levels of student support and additional time on task. But they do this very inefficiently. As I explained before, even though my son selects the correct answers, the program explains the answer at least 2 or 3 more times within a 15-minute block of time, punctuated with ridiculous vignettes that are anything but age appropriate. So my question is, what type of data analysis has been done on the effectiveness and utility of Odyssey for our students? Why is it part of this grade? It's not even a choice. Is there any correlation between Odyssey and student performance? Is this a good program for all students? Have students, teachers, and other stakeholders been surveyed? And unless there's compelling evidence in favor of this program, I can't understand why money is being spent on this. I was shocked to find out that it costs. Free would have been one thing, I still would have said this, but I was shocked that we actually paid money for this. So I can tell you, after he completed the exercise on homophones, his next activity was on idioms, and the first one was pull the plug. I wish you pulled the plug on us.
Dr. Griggs, I thank you, first of all. And I would say that I would appreciate if you would send an email to our superintendent and CC Ms. Crawford. This is something that we can certainly look into coming months, or coming board meetings, as we prepare for next year. Thank you very much. Next on the agenda, we have Brent Backus.
I don't know how to spell homonym, so I'm not going to start. Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to be here today. My name is Brent Backus. My oldest daughter, Josie, is a Parker alum and a sophomore at HF. My youngest daughter, Jane, is an 8th grader currently at Parker. Together, they share a very special and common bond that I wanted to talk about a little bit today. They are both very proud members of the perennially successful and unbelievably talented Parker cross-country team. For those who don't know, just a little bit of perspective on this real quick. This year's team has an amazing set of accomplishments. To put it in perspective, at the conference meet this year, out of 10 schools, the 6th and 7th grade team took first place with 5 all-conference runners. That means they finished in the top 10. 6th and 7th grade boys also took first place, 6 all-conference runners out of the top 10. 8th grade girls, 8th grade boys each broke Parker records by having all 7 of their runners finish in the top 10, and both also took first place. Clean sweep across the board by Parker. At sectionals, 2 Parker girls went on to break the course record at Apollo and finished 2nd place to earn the rights to go to state, only for the 2nd time in girls' history. The boys, for the first time, won first place in the sectional meet and also qualified for state. It took place in Normal, Illinois last weekend, where we were one of only a small number of schools ever in the history to have both their boys and girls team qualify for state. It's a huge, huge deal. So why has this team been perennially successful? If you ask every parent of every kid who has ever run cross country, and many of you here in the room, I think you'd have the same answer as me. Coach Jermod and Coach Eichenlaw, our cross country coaches and 2 teachers at Parker, are without a question the heart and soul of that team and why it's so successful. And to me, in particular, there are 3 things that we can learn from them that I think we can apply more broadly across 161. First and foremost, they inspire our kids, and they push them to do their absolute best. They're unquestionably emotionally invested in our children. They motivate and inspire. They encourage the kids to live up to these very high expectations that they set. Expectations that these kids, deep down, believe that they can accomplish. They make every person on this team feel special and push them to succeed, whether they're the fastest kid on that team or the kids at the back end bringing it home at the end. In a sport that so many people view as being very individualized, they emphasize the importance of team unity and the success of team first. I promise our kids soak up every word that they say and enjoy every painful minute of it during the cross-country season. Second, they engage all of us parents and the broader community in their success. Open lines of weekly communications to parents on expectations for the week ahead, practice schedules, meet schedules, what they should eat, what they should wear if it's cold out, make sure they hydrate, make sure they get plenty of sleep. How we can volunteer as parents to help make them successful. They give our kids positive encouragement regardless of what the stopwatch says. Finally, and perhaps most importantly in my mind, they invest their discretionary time in our kids. They coordinate pasta parties in advance of meets, popcorn at movie nights to watch McFarland to get everybody motivated before state, personal words with words of encouragement to our kids, voluntary runs with 60-plus kids every Saturday morning over the course of the summer, when virtually every other kid in America is still catching up on their sleep. They don't need to ever tell us that they care about our kids, because their actions say absolutely everything that we as parents need to know. So on that note, a challenge to our administration. So much of what I've talked about tonight revolves around demonstrable leadership. Not in what is said, but in the actions and behaviors that you demonstrate that you care and are invested personally in our kids. Over the last few months, my wife Maggie and I have been to the District 161 PTO Fun Run, to September's open house at Parker, to a cross-country team run with parents and families invited, to Flossmoor Fest, where this year every 161 school choir had the opportunity to participate and sing in front of the community. Cross-country meets and sectional meets at Apollo, where we were super honored for Apollo and our community to host this. It's a broad event. Parent Visiting Day last week at Parker. Was our administration present and visible at any of these community events? Where is the visible, demonstrable leadership? Show us the signs that you're personally invested in the success of our kids. Show us that deep down, you care about our kids and this community. Actions speak louder than words, and we expect more from our district leadership to lead by example. In closing, I want to personally thank Coach Eichenlaub and Coach Gerard for what they have done for my two daughters over the last 5 years. They are both to be commended for their ability to inspire and get the very best out of our children. And I challenge all of us to live up to similarly high expectations for our children and for our community.
Thank you, Mr. Backus, and thank you, David White, and your entire family for your continued dedication to work. Thank you. Next, we have Dr. Dreyfus.
Hi, I'm David Dreyfus. I'm a taxpayer. I had 3 kids go through the district. Now one a senior in college, the other 2 graduated from college and working. I'm actually a graduate of 161 myself, served on the board. I heard about this petition about a week ago at a fundraiser at Coyote, and just thought I would come in here. And I appreciate all the parents who are involved and wanting excellence for their kids. I appreciate everything that people have said. One parent who brought up the thing about Odyssey, I would ask if, just having been on the board, if you discussed it with the teacher and the principal, because that's where it needs to focus first before the board. The board can't do anything until it comes to the teacher, the principal, and the curriculum director. A couple of points. We've just been through quite an ordeal at HF with some decisions about letting people go. How those decisions were made, I'm not privy to, but it was very disruptive to the community. And I think the decision, that whatever decision the board makes and how they respond to this, I think it's very critical that it's done in an appropriate, open fashion, because the decisions that occurred at HF were not, and I don't think the board has handled it properly. I appreciate the 400 parents who have signed. The board please keep in mind that there are more than 4,500 parents in this district, of which that's about 10%. And there are also 35,000 stakeholders and taxpayers, of which I am one. And I want you to keep in mind financial aspects of whatever decisions you make. I don't want to have double, when we're concerned about $161,000 in Title I money, the last thing I want is hundreds of thousands of dollars in salaries and or legal expenses being incurred upon the district. Just from a policy standpoint, I know the first gentleman who spoke, Mr. Williams, he requested a date. Please keep in mind that according to board policy 2230, no petition that's presented to the board can be discussed and or acted upon until after the next board meeting when it's presented in the board packet, which will be in November. So just keep that in mind. So November 1, from legal issues can't happen. So just be aware of that, all the parents who requested that. And I think that the parents need to also look at some other issues, and I'm going to address the parents here and not the board. I've been to a few board meetings. I've tried to watch some board meetings online. I think this is an extremely dysfunctional board, having been on a board for many years. I think the board has acted not in the best interest of the community and the best interest of the students. And I think that's something that needs to come into consideration. You have elections elections coming up. I think the best way to have a voice in this district is not only what you're doing here today, but also to be involved on the board. And so for those of you who haven't considered running, you might want to consider it. So I think it's just an important thing. A couple other things, but I think they're not important. I appreciate all the parents being involved because your child's education is probably your most important thing. Their safety is probably most important, but their education is right up there. And I appreciate and applaud you for being involved. And I appreciate the board listening, but at the same time take into consideration some of the other factors which I brought in. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Jarvis. I appreciate your comments. At this time, we will enter, At this time, I will entertain the motion to enter into executive session. Under the exceptions policy, for public body to hold closed meetings to consider the following subjects: employment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the body, public review of counsel for the public body, including hearing testimony on a complaint lodged against employee of the public body, or against legal counsel for the public body to determine validity, and also collective negotiating matters between the public body and its employees or other representatives, or deliberations concerning salary schedules for one or more classes of employees. Mrs. Huckabee, the second. Mrs. Horth, are you? Yes.
Is this in place of
Yes, there was, I remember last year, there was some concern that you weren't saying the whole preamble to this, so I thought we would just say, if we can agree, at this point, if we're more comfortable, we certainly could just say, matters related to personnel, 5 ILCS 120/2C1.
Is this executive session meant to replace agenda item 9?
No, it is not.
This is in addition?
Yes, it is. We're meeting twice. We have a roll call. I'm sorry, is there any other questions? We have a roll call, Mrs. Freeman?
Okay, Ford? Yes. Odom? Yes. Carol? Mark? Simmons?
No.
Mark Whittington? Yes. Huckabee? Yes.
Yes, the motion is passed. We should be in executive session for about 40 minutes.
Do you anticipate any action after this executive session?
From executive session back in open session. First on the agenda, who's returning, is recognition. Dr. Dresser.
Yes, if I can have all our principals, assistant principals come up front, please. Okay. Okay, principals, assistant principals, how you doing? Good. Flossmoor School District would like to acknowledge our principals and assistant principals. Governor Ronner has proclaimed the week of October 17th through the 23rd, 2016 as Principals Week, and Friday, October 21st, 2016, Principals Day in Illinois. Our district is extremely proud of our principals and assistant principals for their instructional leadership, talent, skills, dedication, and making decisions that best benefit our students. Thank you. I'd like to recognize Dr. Vicki Person, Ms. Shamika Fountain, Ms. Patricia McCraven. Ms. McCraven's not here, she's an outdoor ed. Ms. Haley Marty, Dr. Keith Davis, Ms. Sherry Demetrovitz, and Dr. Chad Crozen. And before we have you come up here, Mr. Freitas will read the resolution.
The resolution, okay, whereas the Illinois Principals Association has declared the month of October 2016 as National Principals Month in coordination with the efforts of the National Association of Elementary School Principals, the American Federation of School Administrators, and the National Association of Secondary School Principals, working with the U.S. Congress to designate National Principals Month and resolutions thereof. Whereas the week of October 16th to the 22nd, 2016, is also proclaimed as Principal Week, and Friday, October 21st, 2016, as Principal's Day in Illinois by Governor Bruce Rauner. Whereas the vision, dedication, and determination of a principal provides the mobilizing force behind any school reform effort. Whereas principals are expected to be educational visionaries, instructional leaders, assessment experts, disciplinarians, community builders, public relations experts, budget analysts, facility managers, special programs administrators, and guardians of various legal, contractual, and policy mandates and initiatives, as well as being entrusted with the education and development of young people, the most valuable resource. Whereas principals will play a vital role in successful implementation of Every Student Succeeds Act, ESSA. Whereas principals set the academic tone for their school and work collaboratively with teachers to develop and maintain high curriculum standards, develop mission statements, and set performance goals and objectives for schools to achieve educational excellence. Whereas Flossmoor School District 161 honors such exemplary elementary and middle-level public school leaders committed to serving students from pre-kindergarten to grade 8, pre-K to K-8 in their profession. Whereas to honor and recognize the contributions of all school principals and assistant principals at all grade levels to the success of students in Illinois elementary and middle schools, and to encourage residents of Illinois to observe National Principals Month with appropriate ceremonies and activities that promote awareness of school leadership's role in ensuring that every child has access to a high-quality education. Be it resolved in honor of the service of all elementary and middle-level principals, and to recognize the importance of their school leadership so that every child has access to a high-quality education, and to celebrate school leader accomplishments. The month of October 2016 is hereby designated in Illinois to be National Principals Month.
Okay, if you would come up here, Dr. Frozen, I have a certificate for you. Dr. Person. Felton. Ms. Marty. Dr. Davis. Ms. Demetrovitz. Have a round of applause, please.
We're all very proud of what we call them. Next on the agenda, we have
staying steady. We're down a little bit from last year as far as our numbers go, but our class sizes are at the sizes that we have discussed in the past. Next on the docket, I have an outdoor education program that started today. Flossmoor Hills is there. It'll be going on for the next 2 weeks. I will be traveling to Michigan on Thursday to share some time with Heather Hill students and hopefully ride a horse with them and shoot some bow and arrow. So that will be taking place during that. Number 3, it's a quick STEM update. I've got an administrative group that's been working on looking and researching and reviewing some different programs that are out there. We'll be sending an invite out to the community members by the end of this week, if not sooner, to see if anyone would like to participate. We'd like to have equal representation for each school, as well as our teachers that would like to be involved with that. And that information that we would bring forward, we hope to bring a recommendation by the end of February to the Board of Education. Okay, any questions? Thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda, we have our consent agenda. We have 4 items. We have minutes of September 12, 2016, board meeting, committee of the whole meeting, executive session, September 12, 2016, September 26, 2016, and executive session, September 26, 2016. We also have approval of school building plans, which we heard at last board meeting, as well as a gift from Allison Wild, equipment storage card and books on sports, health, and wellness, valued at $779.64. Certainly, thank you on behalf of the district. We certainly appreciate your contribution. Very generous. And lastly, we have FOIA requests. Yes.
So the past one was out of here, we just made a special
Sure. Would you like to do that now?
Yeah.
Okay, I would certainly support that.
Great thing.
I agree. I always think that we should go out, yes, so we can be more specific about that since, yes.
I would like the regular meeting of September 12th minutes pulled out of the consent. And then second.
Okay. And are there any other changes? Yes, Ms. Ford.
I actually like the school, the building school improvement plans to be pulled out.
Okay. Okay, are there any other comments or questions? This is, did you find the email about the suggested change?
I did not.
Okay, so, yeah, it's just a quick thing. So one of them was that last cow, I had asked Dr. Graham if these were the 2015 norms and not the 2011 norms. The way it's written, it says 2001 norms, not the 2015 norms.
Okay, so it should be 2011 and 2001.
Yes, it's at the minor. And then there's a, minor typo at the bottom of the page.
Should be 2015.
2015. Just clarification. Okay, so aside from those aside from those items that were pulled out, minutes from September 12, 2016, approval of school improvement plans, and the gift from Allison Wild. Do I have a motion to end with the recommended change to the minutes from the COW whole meeting from what was the date on that? Oh, I'm sorry, September 26th. I will entertain a motion to accept the consent agenda items as presented. Mrs. Huckabee's first, Mrs. Harold is second. Can we have the roll call, Mrs. Bruno?
Okay, Huckabee. Yes. Odom. Yes. Simmons.
Yes.
Marks. Yes. Ford. Yes. Carroll. Yes. Paredes.
Yes, the motion is passed. Next on the agenda, we have the, to accept the minutes of September 12th, 2016. I will entertain a motion to accept them as presented. Mrs. Odom, seconded by Mrs. Huckabee, was it?
Yes.
Okay. Do we have a discussion on this? Mr. Simmons, do you have a particular comment?
So, just want to put it.
Oh, okay, sure. Any other comments? Questions? Do we have a roll call, Mrs. Marino?
Okay, Simmons.
Abstain?
Odom.
Yes.
Carroll. Yes. Marks.
Yes.
Ford.
Yes.
Huckabee. Yes. Paredes.
Yes, the motion is passed. Next on the agenda, we have approval of building school improvement plans. Entertain a motion to accept this agenda item as presented. Mrs. Harold? Second, Mrs. Ford? Is there any discussion on this?
I have a couple of things that I wanted to comment on. The first thing was the Parker one was a plan that actually, if I recall from my last question, it was done without, it was already done by the time our current administrator came on board. So I want to know what so they've adopted someone else's plan. So is there going to be a process that would allow them to tweak as necessary? I mean, what is the process once these plans are blessed in terms of revisiting the plans and having and giving updates? In particular, the Parker one, since they sort of inherited it.
Building leadership team actually this summer at the retreat designed it, so it was a group of teachers along with administration. And after that was designed, they put together a presentation, but it was reviewed for the continuous improvement process. And they look at that on a continual basis at the school. So whatever tweaks are made, they will go ahead and do those things as far as monitoring.
And so continuous basis is every quarter?
It depends, PLC time, they look at that on a weekly basis. They could look at the VIT teams or the SIP teams on a monthly basis, but it is being looked at and reviewed. We just finished our MAP testing on the 2nd of November, and as well as the 8th of November. There will be a report out to my cabinet myself about some changes that need to take place or adjustments to the plan according to the data that they received.
And so the tweaks to the plans will be on the website?
I don't know if it would go that far because they're general plans. The school improvement plans are general, they have more specifics that they deal with in each building presents.
So I still think that there should be, I'd love for the current administration to have opportunities to tweak. And so some of those tweaks could be big tweaks, I don't know. Again, it was a plan that they inherited that they did not participate in creating, so.
The plan is a group effort at the school, the building leadership team, so we'll have discussion about that and how it best meets the needs of each one.
Okay, maybe a good question would be, is there a date in the future where we can get an update to see how that might have changed since Dr. Persons has come on board, and certainly Mrs. Townsend too. And in the process of ongoing improvement, this might be something that is helpful for the board as well as the community to be aware of, what changes have taken place.
Thank you. Yes.
Is there a date by which we could possibly look at that?
That'd be up to their team to make a determination.
Okay, so why don't we say at the CAL, if we could have an update on what sort of time frame we could look at, what an update would look at, or sort of look like, that they would have time to reflect on this and look at some, an assessment of how well it's going, or if there's a different direction you might want to take. helpful, just to have a follow-up with this about 2 weeks.
A different direction, one.
Well, just in terms of, okay, let's just say the building leadership team decided, we need all these trees. Let's plant a lot of trees around the school, and then further reflection decided that, actually the trees really obscure the view, so that, maybe we need to think less about trees, more about bushes. So whatever, if you want to replace that with different math programs or ELA, that's fine. So however we would look at our strategic plan, more critically down the line and along the continuous cycle of improvement, that would be something the board and the district would be interested in. It doesn't have to be overly elaborate, just some guidance. Are we sticking with our plan? It's really great, or is there something to eat with the big one? Does that sound?
Is that the will of all board members?
Is that something reasonable?
Yeah.
It's just a touch base. It's not, I'm asking for an overhaul. It's just more of an update. Is it working out? Okay. All right. Okay, so this is something we can discuss. But actually, my question is to address to Mrs. Ward. If this addressed your question.
That does, thank you. And then my other question was, I don't recall whether any of the school improvement plans actually included something around Odyssey. I do remember Western in discussing or including, I can't remember the program.
IXL.
IXL. But I don't know whether any of the other plans address the use of Odyssey at all. So if someone refresh my memory a bit on the essay plan in terms of whether or not it includes the use of Odyssey.
Is this something that you'd like to be interested in the next hour, or is this something you
I think it's yes, it can be addressed in the next hour. I'm fine with the report, but I do think given the use of it in our schools, in our on a daily basis, for it to not be a part of the school improvement plan in terms of a tool, when another web-based system is, I'd like to know how the other schools are thinking about using that.
Okay, that's certainly something we can discuss. Our committee as a whole agenda. Are there any other comments or questions? Okay, I will entertain a motion to accept the approval of building school improvement plans. Presented.
I do have a motion and a second for that.
Oh, I'm sorry. So we have a roll call, Ms. Sabrina?
Okay, Carol? Yes. Forrest?
Yes.
Huckabee? Yes. Odom? Yes. Simmons?
Yes.
Marks? Yes. Paredes?
Yes, the motion is passed. Next on the agenda, again, we have a gift from Allison Wild, equipment storage card and books on sports, health, and wellness, in the amount of $779.64. Is Mrs. Wild here? So, anyone have any comments? I'd just like to say that. I just said that. If no one has any further comments, I would just like to say thank you again to our community for your ongoing generosity and involvement with the school. And yes, certainly made a huge impact on student achievements. I will entertain a motion to accept a gift from Mrs. Wild, again, the equipment storage card and books on sports, health, and wellness for $779.64.
So moved.
Mrs. Huckabee, Mrs. Harold,
I'm sorry,
Mrs. Huckabee,
Okay,
Mrs. Harold is second.
okay,
We will.
okay.
Results of the discussion.
Yes.
Odom? Odom? Yes. Carol?
Yes.
Marks? Yes. Simmons?
Yes.
Huckabee? Yes. Paredes?
Yes, the motion is passed. Next on the agenda, we have committee reports, specifically the speed report from Ms. Lucky. I'm going to suggest that we table this to the next hour, if that's okay with Mrs. Lucky. Okay, so we'll put this on the next whole agenda. Move on to action item discussions, approval of bills.
I move that we approve the bills in the amount of $732,135.01 as presented.
Any comments or discussion? Ms. Sabrina, quick roll call.
Okay, Marks? Yes. Odom? Yes. Huckabee? Yes. Ford? Yes. Carol?
Yes.
Simmons?
Yes.
Yes, and the motion is passed. Next on the agenda, we have approval of payroll. I will call for a motion to approve payroll in the amount of $1,298,583.59 for the month of September as presented. Mrs. Odom, second, Mrs. Huckabee. Is there any discussion? We roll call, Sabrina.
Okay, Carol?
Yes.
Ford? Yes. Huckabee? Yes. Odom? Yes. Simmons?
Yes.
Marks? Yes. Paredes?
Yes, and the motion is passed. Next on the agenda, we have approval of personnel. I'll call for a motion to approve the personnel report as presented.
Personnel.
Okay.
We discussed this in executive session.
Sure.
Taking action.
Sure, absolutely. Okay. Next on the agenda, we have, so we will talk about that in executive session. We'll come back to that when we return. Next on the agenda, we have approval of contract with Maxim Staffing Solutions. And we'll approve the, actually, Dr. Joseph, could you explain this to us one more time?
Sure, I'm actually going to have, right here, yes. Ms. Ladden is in charge of our nursing program here, and this is associated with outdoor education, and we've got more needs this year with our children's, very specific needs in our two of our major nursing schools now, so. Go ahead.
Well, good evening. What Dr. Dustin just said is correct. Our guest nursing, amount of our guest nursing is small, and we have 2 nurses on outdoor ed for the next 2 weeks, and we have 3 dates that we have identified in advance that are a concern to us that we will not have nursing coverage in the buildings. We'll have 1 nurse missing on Wednesday of this week, and a nurse next week, I believe it's Monday and Tuesday, because we have 2 nurses at outdoor ed. So normally, we really have a sufficient coverage, but in light of the situation, we wanted to make sure we have coverage. So in my past position, I used Maxim Staffing. So I called them to see if we could possibly do a contract with them just for day-to-day nursing needs and in case may arise. And that's the contract that's being presented to you tonight. So it is really, for us, it is a last resort. We have our district nurse that does fill in if we can't find a substitute. But we have significant medical concerns in each of our buildings and don't feel comfortable leaving them uncovered without a medical professional.
Are there any questions?
What is the rate of pay? The rate in the contract is different for an RN and an LPN. We requested an RN due to the quick nature of it, and it is $48.
Are they coming all day on those days, or?
They are coming on 15 minutes to half an hour early to be familiar, to review the records of the students, especially the serious health concerns, and then they'll be there all day while the students are present.
Any further comments or questions? So I will entertain a motion then to approve the contract with Maxim Staffing Solutions as presented.
So moved.
Mrs. Huckabee? Second by Mrs. Harrell. Is there any further discussion or comments? Sabrina, please roll call.
Councilmember Forrest?
Yes.
Odom? Yes. Carol?
Yes.
Hart? Yes. Simmons?
Yes.
Huckabee? Yes. Briggs?
Yes, the motion is passed.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome, thank you. Next on the agenda, we have approval of Governor State University contract. Dr. Guster.
Yeah, the contract that's in front of you is in regards to restorative surgical practices, and it's specifically for the junior high. It'll be, this will take place during sessions after school and/or Flossmoor Trumbull University. We will be working with the staff there, and that is what the contract in front of you is for. Our elementary, we will be dealing with that through two of our trainers. One will be Ms. Demetrovitz and Ms. Marty, where they will be utilizing the train-the-trainer model for the elementary schools. The elementary schools right now are doing well with the practice, the circles, and junior high is working on it as well. We want to make sure we give our junior high the full boost for the restorative justice circles that will be taking place there as well as the health. Any questions?
This is for some of the last meeting when we was here for there were not any particular outcomes. I know they said that we typically see outcomes in the first year. That's, how do we know if we're going okay, let's see here how we're doing now. What we're getting next week, what everything is looking for. And then in that first year, maybe 2 years, just kind of getting out of that.
Right, the first year, we're going to take a look for sure. There's going to be a survey out to the parents, the students, as well as the staff. We'll be getting information there. We'll see where they're going from the beginning of the year until the end. We will be looking, we have a meet district-wide. I meet with all of our administrators as well as our social workers that are about our Senate Bill 100 committee. We meet with them, and we will be looking at a number of interventions, the frequency of those. We'll be looking at our discipline, referrals, if they've gone down, if they've gone up, what specific times do they go up. So we're looking at all that data at this point. And it's our hope that it will go down, but it will be a process as far as addressing it.
Okay, excellent. I have a question. The $11,200 for the 2016-2017 school year is just for them to train the teachers, the staff at Harvard.
Yes.
What is the evaluation or assessment of the teacher's success in implementing restorative justice? And we are looking at outcomes that the teacher doesn't buy into, no matter how much training they have, if they don't buy into the program, then the kids are not going to be successful in any way. So what are we doing in order to assess the training that they received from this 11,200?
When we have an FIU class, there's an evaluation after each class. We hear what they're doing, what happens. We have walkthroughs throughout our schools, our principals, and our case manager at junior high, for example, will be walking through. On our walkthrough, it says restorative justice practices. When they're practicing that, there's social emotional learning that takes place at the junior high as well as the elementary. So at the junior high level, they know those days, and that is what they're going to be looking for to see if those are taking place and the effectiveness of those. So each one of my administrators do 10 walkthroughs each week, along with all of their formals and informals for the evaluation during the classrooms live. So they're able to see the different things that are taking place. They will look at as I said before, they'll take a look at the survey results, what was their foundation from the beginning of the year to the end. They'll be looking at different types of frequencies. We'll be addressing things through Senate Bill 106. Those are the ways that we will be addressing this year.
You're saying frequencies of the students, whether there's actually change.
If there's change in the classrooms, how many times do they have the circles? It's not just for discipline either. These circles are for academic. It's maybe a touch base in the morning real quick. So how's everybody doing? Maybe after a long weekend. Okay, ready to focus. How was your weekend real quick?
The assessments with the administration walk through.
As they walk through,
How the teachers are doing and the staff are doing the training.
that'll be part of it for them, yes. And those are things that they look at through the MPSS process when we meet the data collection days and stuff.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Remind me again, how did we arrive that this was the best program rest of restorative justice, did we not have any other programs that we could look at, or was this the only program that we,
Investigated.
yes, no, yes, okay.
Restorative justice is a mindset and how we work. We're trying to change the mindset to children. We're trying to help to correct behavior and give examples to educate the children. This is one practice, restorative justice. We use balanced discipline in our school district, which is traditional, how all of us were.
Right, got all of that, but I asked about the program, I asked about, was this the only program that we looked at, were there not other programs out there?
This program that we had discussions with the Governor State, as well as we have some experts that are here as well, some administrative staff.
So the answer is yes, this is the only program that we looked at.
This program has a lot of things involved with it.
So the answer is yes, this is the only program.
The answer is this
Okay,
this
the answer is
information.
yes, thank you.
Okay, so,
I have a couple questions. So, you referenced our in-house experts on restorative justice, peace circle. What are their thoughts about the amount of hours that are in the contract? Is question number one. Question number two is, I actually didn't realize that the program with Governor State was 100% training. So how much training did staff receive last year with the consultant that was hired? And I asked this question of the Governor State people here, and they actually didn't quite even realize that some training had already taken place. So how much training has already taken place? And then how does that relate to this additional 14 hours? So the first question is whether or not our in-house experts on this have given any feedback on the amount of additional hours that are in.
Our in-house experts are part of the.
So yes, they have looked at the so 14 hours is sufficient according to conversations you've had with our in-house experts on what else is needed.
We believe this is what is needed. The Governor State have given us this type of information to assist with this program. This is to assist our teachers so that they can help with restorative justice practices at the junior.
So have you talked to our in-house experts?
I've spoken to one of our administrators that's on there and knows quite a bit about it.
So 14 additional hours, and I'm assuming it's our lovely principal at Serena. 14 additional hours is sufficient to do what it is that we are trying to do, that we are calling a restorative justice program.
We believe it's, for the first year, that is something that would be enough, that'd be sufficient for our teachers for the first year, and we'll evaluate after that.
I think you could look at this also as, 14 hours is like taking a semester, one course for one semester at the college. So, one credit for.
Yeah, I mean, that's a one credit course, and you're in a one credit course. So I just want to make sure that 14 hours is what your team feels is sufficient, not just what you feel is sufficient or what Governor State feels is sufficient. And then the second part of that is, how does this relate to the training that staff received last year? What happened to that training? How many hours was it? Where is that consultant? It just sort of fizzled away. My question is to you.
Yeah, I understand your question. As far as last year, consolidated things in-house.
Did you have a consultant last year who provided some training around restorative justice practices? I thought there was a woman that we had hired.
For restorative justice. Do we have a person for restorative justice?
Was there a consultant that the district hired that was providing some training or consulting to teachers around restorative justice or peace circles?
That was for, okay, yeah, that was, Parker Junior High had asked a person to come in to assist with a few things, and I don't believe that was that long. It was just giving a little bit of information to the Parker staff. It didn't last as long as what I think they intended to.
So nothing ever came of that.
I'm not sure what it was. I know that they had worked with the teachers for a little bit, but it wasn't anything.
So,
I have no more questions.
any other questions, comments, discussion? Okay, we have a roll call. I'm sorry, we did not make a motion. I will entertain a motion to approve the restorative justice contract with Governor State University, GSU, in the amount of $11,200 for the 2016-2017 school year. This contract will be paid through the 31 grant. Need a second? Mrs. Odom. No further comments? We can roll call, Mrs. Bruno?
Okay, Odom? No. Carol? Yes. Huckabee? No. Simmons?
Yes.
Marks? Yes. Ford?
No.
Paredes?
Yes. How many no's is that?
3 to 4. 3 noes.
Okay, that's a majority, the motion has passed. Next on the agenda, we have appointment of IASB delegate assembly representative. I will call for a motion to recommend Timmy Odom as the delegate assembly representative for the 2016 Triple I Conference. This individual will be voting on behalf of Flossmoor School District 161 Board of Education. Okay, second. I call for a motion, so.
I'll call for this one.
Yeah, so Mrs. Huckabee, you're first, and then Sarah will second. Is there any discussion? Yes.
Because I won't be here for next year. I think that it would be a good idea to have a alternate delegate as well, who would sit in the audience in the back during this particular year, so that they'll know how everything goes for next year, how the delegation works.
Okay, I think that makes a lot of sense. And I believe it goes, is there a limit on people who can attend that, or is it?
In the public section, there's no limit.
Okay, so that's something we don't have to necessarily decide on today.
Right.
But having gone through the process myself, I think that it is very beneficial to see that not only the issues that are discussed, the mode that they're discussed, but the dialogue around these specific issues. So encourage, if possible, everyone going to the conference to consider this. We have a roll call, Mrs. Bruno?
Okay, Marks? Yes.
Yes, that was my recommendation. That was the motion. The motion I made was to recommend Timmy, I'm sorry. I entertained the motion to recommend Timmy Janelle Odom, board member, as the delegate assembly representative for the 2016 Triple I Conference. This individual will be voting on behalf of the Flossmoor School District 161 Board of Education. So we have, who is first? Okay, we have Mrs. Huckabee is first, and we have Mrs. Harrell second. If there's no comments, questions, so let's vote.
Did you say that next year?
I think we already have a motion.
Yeah, that's when we had discussion.
I have no problem with that. It's, the issue is that because of the election, for this April time, we have no idea who that person would be. You know, who gets appointed for it, for the, to be the IASB representative of the board. So you could have anybody in here go as a delegate actual delegate, and then ends up not being here next year, so it ends up doing away with the.
Yeah, just
You're right.
To which meeting?
going to IAS.
Okay, I'm going, Mrs. Odom is going, and Mrs. Huckabee.
You're not up for election, so you have 2 more years left, so you would be a great, that would be an issue. Assuming that the president for the next board appoints the person, whoever it is. I mean,
Well,
we don't have an ASB. I'm just saying this thing.
I appreciate your point you're making, and I think that certainly sitting in the audience and observing is great training for what happens during this delegate assembly. And so again, I would encourage really everybody who's going to do so. And so with that, I think that certainly would benefit from watching. If at some point in the future we wanted to revisit this, we could do so, but I haven't had a conversation with Mrs. Huckabee to the extent to which she would want to do this as opposed to, you will have to miss other workshops. If you go to the delegates of this, I imagine you probably want to see the menu of fantastic workshops during the conference. So for now, I'm going to with my motion, but it's something to think about before we get to even. Yeah, sure, go ahead.
So does this person just act as a delegate for this particular meeting?
Yes,
that's it.
And generally speaking, we look at the issues first, and then we give some clarity about where the board lies on things like charter schools, should they be getting federal funding? And at that point, what do we say, yay or nay? We would then vote in the delegate assembly to either support or. Yes, you just represent. There are discussions, so at some point if there is a general consensus that people would like there to be federal funding for charter schools, say, and hypothetically we said we didn't, and then at some point you would have an opportunity to stand up and say why you thought there, based on our conversation here, why you felt that there shouldn't be federal funding for charter schools. You'd be the voice of the district.
I would go on record to say I would go with the option.
Okay, sounds great. Okay, good roll call, Sabrina.
Okay, Marks? Yes. Oda? Yes. Huckabee? Yes. Ford?
Yes.
Carol? Yes. Simmons?
Yes.
Reyes?
Yes, the motion is passed. At this time, we'll be entering into executive session. I will entertain a motion to enter into executive session to discuss matters of personnel related to 5 ILCS 120/2C1. Is there anyone on the board who wants to read the entire agreeable? Yes. Okay. I'm going to make the suggestion that we table negotiations, if you're able to speak about, until November 1st. At that point, we'll have a more clear idea. That's it. We will also go to executive session to discuss matters of related to negotiations 5 ILCS 120/2. Mrs. Huckabee, second, Mrs. Harrell. Please roll call.
Okay, Simmons? Yes. Carol? Yes. Huckabee? Yes. Odom? Yes. Marks? Ford?
Yes.
Reyes?
Yes, the motion is passed.
How long is it?
I will now, we're back in open session. I will now entertain a motion to accept the personnel report as presented.
So moved.
Mrs. Huckabee,
I second.
second, Mrs. Worth. Do we have any discussion? We have roll call, Mrs. Farina.
Okay, Carol,
Yes.
Simmons,
Yes.
Odom,
Yes.
Marks,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Huckabee,
Yes.
Paredes.
Yes, and the motion is passed. I'll entertain a motion to end the meeting for October 17th, 2016.
So moved.
Mrs. Huckabee. Second by Mrs. Worth. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Guys, have it.